Welcome into another edition of the Leadership Library, hosted by CEO and author Rocky Romanella. Rocky is the author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership, and has over 40 years of business experience as a prominent member of the UPS Supply Chain Solutions team, as well as the CEO of Unitech Global Services. So sit back, grab your notebook, and take a seat, and get ready for this edition of the Leadership Library.
Welcome to the Leadership Library podcast. I'm your host, Rocky Romanella. As you know, we have been doing a 6-part series on the end of the year review, the state of the business, the state of our people. So far, we've talked about 5 of them. Number 1 was, did you start right, stay right? Number 2 is, did you personally approve a good plan? 3 was, did you communicate the plan? 4 was, did you organize your resources, which we've talked about, talks a lot about commitment. 5 was, did we all work the plan, which talks about accountability. Number 6, and the final one in this series, is the process of monitoring and adjusting. Are we using all the available reports and measures to ensure plan adherence? Did we set out, a lot of times we'll talk about it as KPI, key performance indexes or indices. But at the end of the day, what was our vision of what we were trying to accomplish, and what were those milestones along the way? Do we use available shared resources to assist? So, for example, if there's information from a turnover perspective, are we using our resources in our human resources department to help us understand those reports and maybe pull those reports for us? Do we have a strategic plan for remediation? Look, when you're building a plan, you always look at things from its widest consequences. So what are the potential things that could go wrong, and do you have a plan to do that? I think that's so important. Monitor and adjust. I think I may have told you along the way in some of the podcasts or some of the other talks I've had along the way that I originally went to school to be a high school history teacher and a baseball coach, and during my time at UPS I was part-time unloading trailers and had the opportunity to work my way through college and change my major from teaching to business, but I never gave up my teaching passion because I just felt like in business it was just a different venue. Why do I tell you this? Because the big difference between communication and education is accountability. So in number 3, we said we talk about the plan, but number 6 is the accountability. And what's accountability in teaching? The test. If you think about it for a second, when you're in a history class and you're teaching the students about George Washington, for example, you may give them all these facts, first president, was from Virginia, so on and so forth, the first general, whatever. But that's communication until what? Until you give them the test, that's education. Now, once they pass the test, they've been educated. Well, in business, we communicate a lot of things. By the way, it's done at a very high professional level, right? You walk through any organization, you'll have posters, you'll have stuff laid out on bulletin boards all over the place. Well done. You get communications from the communication department. Well done, well articulated, professionally done. That's communication. Education is when someone talks to you about it, when someone asks you a question about it, when someone tests you on the information that was given by questions that they asked. Well, number 6, monitor and adjust, is that education piece. We communicated the plan. We've talked about the plan. You shook your head that you understood the plan. You committed to the plan. But now we're adjusting the plan and you're getting farther off plan. You're failing the test, or you're passing the test with flying colors. So that's the education piece. That's where I have to take a step back as a leader and say, well, I communicated the plan, but I don't think I educated you on the plan, because for whatever reason, you're failing these tests. So I think if all the students, one of the first class I took in teaching, if all the students fail, the teacher didn't teach. That's how you have to look at it. If everyone in your organization is off plan, then maybe you didn't teach. Maybe the plan wasn't a good plan. But education really comes down to that testing process and understanding, do you really understand what we communicated? So it's communication until a test. Then it's education. So number 6 is monitor and adjust. So that would be your education piece. So just to wrap up on our 6-part series, on the end of a year review and your beginning process for the next year review, because they're both the same. One ends with all the results, one begins with the plan. Did you start right and stay right? Did you personally approve a good plan? Did you communicate the plan? Did you organize your resources? Did we all work the plan? And finally, did we monitor and adjust? Did we pass the test? Thank you very much for listening. I hope you find these 6 episodes helpful in your year-end review and your planning process for the new year. Thank you, and thank you for being a part of the Leadership Library family.